That list, Nadezhda Evstukina, the European champion of this season, but a chance now to meet each of the athletes. Nadezhda Evstukina, 2011 world champion on the eve of the Olympic Games, where, well, it all went wrong. She didn't total. Lydia Valentin for Spain, recently achieving the Mediterranean Championships, and she has a chance today of getting a world medal. Eva Nizdal for Poland, moving up a bodyweight class. This is a new weight class for her, and she hasn't had long to get used to it. Representing the United States of Mexico, I should say, Cynthia Dominguez, the Pan-American champion. And now from Canada, Dr. Marie-Yves Beauchemin-Nadeau, third in this season's Universiade in July. Kang Hua represents China, and she is this season's National Games champion. And if you've been with us throughout the championships, you'll know how prestigious a title that is. Gana Kozenko coming down from the super heavyweight class of plus 75, and Alejandra Garza, 6th in the Pan American Games representing Mexico, and from Brazil, Jacqueline Antonio Ferreira, runner-up in the University Championships last season, and Olga Zubova. Well, almost set to go. A couple of minutes before the first lifter will be called to the stage. Just time enough for me to give you the results from earlier in the day in the B group. In the snatch phase, it was Kanyaluk Chumani of Thailand who produced the best series. 3 good attempts, the best of them 102 kilos. And in the second half of the competition, it was actually Rosa Tenorio Silva of Ecuador. She produced a clean and jerk of 120. That gave her a total of 221, but Chumani got 120, and by 1 kilo got the best result in the B group. So 222 kilos is the leading score as we go into tonight's A final here of the women's 75 kilo championship.
Ale Polacy, teraz wy, jak najgłośniej. Dla Ewy.
Well, just a couple of minutes to go in this 75 kilo championship before we get underway. Sit back, relax, and alongside me, Michaela Breeze, with her expert eye on these women. It's quite an interesting lineup here, Michaela, for this year's championship. Maybe the standard perhaps not quite as high, because we haven't got lifters like Zabolitnaya of Russia, who is such a dominant force in this, or indeed Podobedova of Kazakhstan. But we do have Evstukina, and Evstukina really sets the standard here, and she with an entry total of 260 kilos.
Yeah, I think we say the standard's not so high. I think the general standard across the level of competition maybe isn't as high, but at the top end it sure is. It's going to be very competitive between the two Russians.
Lydia Valentin of Spain is in there. Interesting, she's put a total of 260. There are 3 of them, but of course you have to factor in the sort of unknown in a way, Kang Hua of China, whose entry total is 268, and as a National Games winner this season has to be respected. The Chinese still very much in command of the medal table at the moment. There is Marie-Yves Beauchemin-Nadeau, a doctor qualified in general practice at the moment in or around Montreal. Had a pretty good result in the University Games when she was 3rd last July in Kazan. Had a word with her before, and she said preparation had gone really, really well, so she's hopeful of at least some personal bests tonight.
tyle za Polską. 10, 9,
Nadezhda Evstekina. Well, she really needs to focus tonight. It was a big upset for her in the Olympic Games, not getting a total. It was a complete disaster in the snatch. 125 kilos. She tried it 3 times. None of them came off, and it was a huge, huge surprise.
Well, one of the favourites going into London. Of course, that's going to be a massive shock, but it did leave the door wide open for Lydia Valentin of Spain to come away victorious at the London Games. Hopefully, she can do well here today as well.
Yes, she's always found herself up against top competition. I'm just wondering, though, that winning the Mediterranean Games, winning a championship, it must give you some confidence. So here we go, the first of our attempts, and onto the stage in sprightly fashion, Alejandra Gaza from Mexico, 22 years of age, posted a total of 230, so she's looking for an overall improvement this evening of about 10 kilos. Starting off at 97.
Hasn't left herself much time here. I think took her by surprise the fact they'd started the competition.
Coming down to 5 seconds very quickly.
Was out in front, she managed to steady it.
Saves the day and keeps her plan on the right path.
As they say in the Spanish language, fácil, easy.
In picture for Ukraine, this is Gana Kosenko, runner-up in the European Championships, but runner-up at over 75 kilos. But actually, you have to take that with a pinch of salt, because she actually weighed 75.92, which is a bit bizarre. Can't imagine why she wasn't in the 75 kilo class.
Great extension there. Got loads of upward momentum on the bar. That's going to be a massive help. I think she can go an awful lot further than that.
Yeah, she did 101 in the Universiade when she was just that less than a kilo over 75 kilos. And that was quite impressive.
It was, yeah. She got a great amount of flow. Really used the legs to drive that bar high. As the bar's still moving upwards, she's dropping underneath. That's what we call float, and that was a great lift. In picture,
Eva Mizdal for Poland. Moving up a category here. Hasn't really had much more than a year, if that, to get used to this new weight category. That can always be a bit of an issue, so 100 kilos on the bar here. 7th in the Olympic Games. Former under-23 champion in Europe. That was at 69 kilos, so she's been working her way up the categories. Time aplenty. Good. And she's got a pretty good audience to support her here. Not quite as full as it was earlier in the day for the men's 85, but there's a lot of Polish fans. One bank over to our right-hand side here, really packed out with Polish fans. And behind us, the tribunes behind us, pretty full as well. It's been the best day so far, certainly for the audience and the crowds and spectators, and it promises to be a very good weekend as well. So Marie Beauchemin-Nadeau out for Canada. Time to time, the Canadians produce some really good lifters. You've had one or two really good Canadian rivals, Michaela.
Yeah, in my category at the time when it mattered. But I had two that finished behind me in Melbourne, which was a sweet revenge. good, nice deep squat position. Great elbow lock.
Can't imagine it's easy, you know. There are certain jobs in the world, and hers is a doctor, a general practitioner, trying to combine that with training for weightlifting. That must be really demanding.
Yeah, you've got to have good time management to be able to cope with that. And that's the difference between those lifters here that we're seeing that are good, they're doing well in the A group, versus those that will be competing for the medals. They will be pretty much professional athletes training full-time. The rest of us have to hold down jobs and balance life.
From Rio de Janeiro, this is Jacqueline Ferreira. Also went to the University Games in Kazan, finished 5th, 100 kilos, so pretty close to a personal best.
Oh, stay there, steady, steady. That's gone behind. Always struggling in the overhead position there, really disappointing. She worked so hard for that.
Yeah, here's another lifter. I was having a chat with her coach, and he was saying, you know, she's studying at the moment, physical education, sort of university, and she said it's really, he said it's really, really hard to concentrate, he said, but the good news is that after this season, she will finish those studies. And in the preparation for Rio, she'll be able to full-time focus.
Well, I've been through that myself. Teaching practice is hard. That's probably one of the toughest years to try and balance training and studying. It's just so full-on and so time-consuming.
So, Alejandra Garza, she got the first attempt at 97, 3 kilo increase here for her second attempt. So the 97 was a good opener. This is for a new personal best for her.
That was a power snatch, wasn't it? Really didn't commit to sitting in fully.
And she's put an entry total in of 230 kilos, but she's only 8 over the winner of the B group, so she's got to really hit all her marks all the way through this to make sure that she doesn't get eclipsed by at least Kanaluk Shumani, the winner of the B group earlier on. Now, Jacqueline, as you imagine, for a young Brazilian woman, dance and the cinema are big favourites for her.
We've got a lifter here under some serious pressure. It's almost like the weight's not heavy enough. It really is flying up and over and not slowing down.
Yeah, she's got some good achievements under her belt. She was runner-up this season in the Pan Americans. Did 103, 126 for 229. But these two setbacks really hurt. She's got to go, you know, the bar's gone up to 101 kilos. That'll give her a little bit more time to compose.
Yeah, just looking at the replay there, she got under it so quickly that it's almost like the bar came crashing down on top of her. She's well capable of this. Coach is deciding that she's got to go back to the warm-up. Yeah. Do one for confidence in the warm-up room.
So it's going to be Kazenko coming out for the Ukraine. So again, this will represent a 3 kilo increase for her.
I'm not sure I would have taken Jacqueline back for a warm-up, another warm-up attempt, because she really doesn't have long before she's back out.
I think this is a very interesting young woman, you know, 22 years of age. She's been making some marks in the Europeans as a junior and more recently as a senior.
Alejandra Garza, also Mexico. Please prepare. Przygotowuje się. Dominguez goes up. A zatem nowy limit czasu I reprezentantka także Meksyku.
Bar up to 102 kilos now, and that means that Jacqueline Antonio Ferreira is going to take at least 102 kilos when she comes back for that all-important third attempt. So Gaza with about 45 seconds in which to achieve this. 2 good efforts so far. This is just a 2 kilo increase. Nonetheless, another personal best in the offering. Moved up 3 years ago from 69 to today's weight category. Well done. And that, Michaela, represents a 7 kilo improvement since finishing 6th in the Pan Americans last June.
No, it was a good lift. Had to sit in a bit deeper on that one to nail it, which was good to see. See how pleased she is with that. Looking at this, great extension, a little bit in front, tiny step forwards to correct it. Happy days.
Always good to get 3 out of 3. Now this woman must get 1 out of 3. 102 kilos to stay alive. This is a weight she's done. She did it in the Universiade this year. She was a kilo better than this in the Pan Americans. She has, if you go back to December 2012, actually collected 106 kilos in this particular discipline in competition.
Game over.
It's just what you didn't want to happen, really. Hurts all the more when you know that these pictures are going live to Brazil.
Bitterly disappointing. Technically not that much wrong with it, just as I think over snatched it, dropped in so fast, that bar then came down on top of her.
She does have the possibility of a consolation prize to aim at, but very difficult, the clean and jerk. She's a Brazilian girl, one of 140 athletes they have in Brazil in the sport of weightlifting at the moment. Now, Mexico, first attempt. Explosive speed. Needs to stand still, which she does. That'll get 3 white lights. And does so. So Cynthia Dominguez Lara on her way. Pan American champion. Good start.
Yep, good solid opening attempt. Very tall. Very tall for a weightlifter. Long way to move the bar.
Eva Misdal coming out for her second attempt. Misdal, 3 kilo increase. I think with her in this new category, Michaela, it's got to be step by step, you know, not over-egging it, just taking it a little bit like Milka Maneva a couple of nights ago for Bulgaria. Sensible increases. Okay. Having said what I have just said, I'm pretty sure the coaches are going to push her a bit on the third one.
Yeah, I think so. She's going to need to find some legs, though. I'm not sure if she's engaging glutes as powerfully as she could through the middle part of the lift. It's a long, extended movement followed by a dive underneath, rather than a dynamic, explosive kick with the legs, catching overhead.
Cynthia Vanessa Dominguez Lara, please prepare.
Marie-Yves Beauchemin Nadeau. Well, the first lift was pretty straightforward. So again, another lifter going for a 3 kilo increase. This to put her into third place in the snatch. But still 4 lifters to start. Okay. Nice smile.
Yeah, she's going to be pleased with that. This is turning into a good run of lifts. let's hope he can continue.
Just a couple of kilos short of her personal best, but just to guide you a little bit, Nadezhda Evstukina, this season's European champion, 120 is her posted opening weight. Lydia Valentin for Spain, 112. Kang Yue, 115 for China. And Olga Zubova, the second of the Russians, at 125. In fact, 5 kilos more than Evstukina. So that's going to be interesting to watch those two at it. Now this is Kozhenko, 104. Again, a 3 kilo increase, and this definitely would be a new mark for her on the competition stage. Oh, come on.
Oh, I don't know. They're moving in that right elbow.
Well, let's see what the 3 referees make of it.
Well, they've all given it.
I thought she'd get that, to be honest, you know, Michaela.
Did well as well. It's tough to move around at the bottom.
That's a 3 kilo improvement on the mark she set a couple of years ago when she was 7th in the Junior Worlds.
Saw on the replay, she jumped backwards quite a bit there. That's why she had to stagger forwards underneath it.
But she's got the 3 out of 3, which is what she was looking for. She posted a total of 233, and she's now collected 104 kilos towards that total. Now, what was notable about this young woman as she comes forward for her second attempt at 106 was the speed and explosiveness of the first attempt. She looks really comfortable, Michaela.
Yeah, she does. Very, very tall lifter. She's got to be the tallest in the category.
New leader. Seems to be a lot of joy around the women's warm-up room. Lots of smiles, people enjoying themselves. But, of course, unfortunately, Jacqueline, the Brazilian contender, Jacqueline Antonio Ferreira, who hasn't got a score. Now, Misdal, again, it's a 3 kilo increase. Really has to believe in this as much as she has to maintain the technique. Exhales with enjoyment.
Yeah, she really had to dig deep for that one. See the receiving position, far from ideal. Let's watch the slow-mo replay. But as she lands in that position, her knees come in quite a long way. That's going to put some serious pressure on the medial part of the knee. Did extremely well to recover.
Takes her up into second place. The leader at the moment is Cynthia Dominguez-Lara by virtue of lighter body weight, 73.10 to Misdal, 73.89. But there are still 4 lifters who have yet to start. So this is very much the hors d'oeuvre before the main course.
Oh, amazing there. Best one we've seen.
And that's 3 out of 3 for her. And bar poor old Jacqueline Antonio Ferreira, everybody making their lifts.
It really is impressive at this level when these lifters are pushing the personal boundaries, pushing to weights that they've never lifted before. This really is quite incredible.
Yeah, 74.92. She is the heaviest. That's the one disadvantage she has. So, double quick time. Cynthia Dominguez-Lara out now. She's put up the bar to 109 kilos. Now, she did 105 in the Pan Americans, which as far as we could tell, having a look at her record, is the best she's ever done. So she's already 1 kilo up.
Oh, can she save it?
She can.
Great lifting, really fighting hard at the bottom. Well done.
Good stuff. So she's now improved her personal best by 4 kilos and is in #1 position at the moment. So 4 lifters left, and all of them have got 3 attempts. The lead at the moment with the Mexican you've just seen on 109 kilos, bar going to 112 for the arrival of Lidia Valentin Perez representing Spain.
Well, the clock is ticking and she's still in the warm-up room. Does she know she's been called? This preparation should have been done beforehand. No? She doesn't know she's been called.
No, there's something...
Yep, she knows now.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
They've changed the weight, it's okay.
Oh. My goodness.
My heart started racing then.
She's put it up to 117.
Yeah, but now the other lifters have moved up as well, so she is back out and she's only got 38 seconds on the clock. Quick, she says, give my legs a slap, wake them up. Here we go.
She needs to go onto the stage right now. Mediterranean Games champion this season, European silver medalist in April, to Nadezhda Evstukina, who has yet to start. 20 seconds to make this opening attempt to go straight into the lead. Ten seconds. 5.
Wow.
Oh.
Very, very easy.
Well, there have been some, from where we were sitting, some worrying moments, but she made that look perfectly straightforward. She consistently actually snatches 120 kilos. It's where she goes from here now that matters.
Yes, it is. In terms of the time that was left on the clock, it might not have been much, but the lifters know exactly how long they have. There is a clock just in front of the platform, slightly to the right. So if you see the lifters glancing at something, they're just usually checking to see how long. And that walk from the chalk bin to the bar, most of the lifters will take a glance on that last walk, just so they know exactly how long is left.
Well, Nadezhda Evstukina said that she was going to come in at 120. That's exactly what she's done. Of course, before the Olympic Games, she won the World Championships in Paris and totaled up there 293. That's why, in a way, it was such a shock to see her get nothing out of the Olympic Games. And even prior to that, her record in Europe is pretty fantastic. She won the championship this year, but previously she was European champion in 10 and 11. And the Olympics was the big, big hiccup. And as we start this new Olympic cycle, this is going to be the real test for her. 25 years of age, weighed in at 24.14, so by no means the heaviest in the class. This for the lead.
Well, there's going to be no repeat of what happened in London. It was an absolutely solid first attempt, 120 kilos. Puts her straight into the lead. Only a few lifters left in the competition now.
It's interesting that Olga Zabova of Russia has come down 5 kilos from her announced weight, whereas Kang Yue has gone up 7 kilos from her announced weight. So this is going to be fascinating stuff. But here is the 19-year-old Russian World University champion last season. University Summer Games champion this season in 2013.
Oh, Zubova a little bit A little bit less stable at the bottom, but nonetheless very, very strong and comfortably in control.
She's on a terrific hot streak. When I was looking at her record, Michaela, she has won 7 championships in a row.
So just looking at the shoes she's wearing there. Unusual for a weightlifter to be wearing CrossFit shoes. I'm sure they were CrossFit shoes. Reebok style, slightly less stable than the Adidas. More flexion, more give in them. Allows CrossFitters to not just lift, but move around, jump around, do all the other movements they need to.
Kang Yua coming in now. Won the National Games title with a snatch of 130. And she set a Chinese national record in the clean and jerk for this weight class of 160 kilos. Now, when you consider that, that is only 3 kilos short of the clean and jerk world record. That's for a bit later. This is for now, 122 kilos. Zubova leading, Evstukina second, Valentin third. But it's all changed. Down to 4th place goes Lydia Valentin because Kang Yua leads for China.
Well, I think we have 4 fantastic technicians left in this group, and it really is great to see. Great extension, superb receiving position, tremendous leg strength to get up with that.
When we looked at the start list at first glance, Miguel, it didn't look as if it was going to be, you know, one of the classic competitions, but there's quite a good fight going on here already.
Well, Kang Yua and Lydia Valentin have both increased their starting weight, which has put them back in contention.
So this is a 5 kilo increase to take the lead because Lydia is that much lighter than Kang Yua.
Quick glance at the clock. Just under 30 seconds, loads of time.
This is very much on her best ever mark of 122.
Much more hesitant than her first attempt there. Really wasn't sure about that from the word go.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same. She just overthought that.
Yeah, if you just watch the starting position, I'm sure we'll see this on the replay, just gives the bar a bit of a yank, as if say, come on, trying to talk herself into it. If you try and yank the bar off the floor too hard, there's nowhere to go then. You can't accelerate into it. Best off to ease the bar off the floor as it passes the knees, then hit it hard.
And this is a little bit like the story of her life, you know, at these critical moments. These are the ones which you've really got to make, and, you know, there you can see she's stuck down in 4th place, but she's used a second life.
Yeah, this worries me now. It's great to see Eastern Europeans coming through and trying to medal and contend for the medals on a world stage. Just really hope she can put it together.
Kiedy szczęścia smak poczujesz, pokaż nam to tak jak umiesz. Gdy poczujesz szczęścia smak, z tygryskiem skacz.
So interesting, Evstukina up to 125. Kang Yua, next attempt will be 128. Olga Zubova, 125. But now this becomes very, very important. We now know that she's going to be catching up. We don't know by how much, but if she gets left on 120 here, it's going to be really difficult for her in the second half.
She'll be left on 117 if she misses this.
This is the day when Lydia Valentin should have been really focusing on doing 6 out of 6. She's still got more than 20 seconds. And that's why she is so frustrated. You know, I mean, she has thrown away an opportunity at least to go to 125.
Well, thrown away an opportunity, but rescued the situation at the same time. That could have gone very, very wrong.
125, dalej podchod, drugie podejście. Olga Zobowa, be ready, Katowice.
Really wish we could see some replays from the side. There we go. See the extension, you can see the angles of the joints if the camera zooms out just a fraction, might help.
So Nadezhda Evstekina, she's been at the forefront of this weight class now for some 3 years. She didn't win the Universiade, that went to Zubova by a kilo. She got beaten by her Russian teammate there. That was in July.
Love the appropriateness of the music.
I mean, it's so interesting. She really first came to know when she got the bronze medal, I should say, in the Olympics in Beijing. And then we started to see great things from her, winning Europeans, winning the world title in Paris. But this is the woman who got the better of her in the Universiade in Kazan. 279, Evstekina 278.
Well, the pressure is now on both Russians. Lydia still commands the lead by 2 kilos.
Yeah, and she's very fortunate, isn't she? Because she couldn't have thought or counted on those 2 failures. Remember, you've got Kang Yue, who's posted 128, just waiting at the moment.
Well, Evstekina really does need to extend through the middle part of the lift if she's going to be successful this time round. Jumps up onto the platform. The last lift was very short.
She has oceans of time.
Wow.
This is a big surprise. I mean, she did 123 at the Universiade, but remember, 125, 3 times she failed at 125 in the Olympic Games.
Right, came onto her toes very early from that position. It's very hard to get the leg drive. You can see the Spanish coaches celebrating in the warm-up room. They've guaranteed themselves a medal on the snatch.
And she does correct. And that 125 kilos third attempt puts her into the lead, takes the lead from Lydia Valentin, who drops down to second, and then pushes Kang Yue for the moment down to the bronze medal. But you're absolutely right. Lydia Valentin has somehow managed to end up with a medal. It might be silver, probably will be bronze, but boy, she's been lucky. That's an escape for from jail for the Spanish lifter. So Kang Yue, here she comes. Remember that National Games achievement of 130 kilos. In fact, 126. So 4 kilos up on the first attempt. So just making sure here, weighing at 74.61. Remember, Zubova 74 kilos, so she's the lighter, so she's taking what she needs to win this gold medal for the snatch. And she's done just that. And now she has 1 attempt. Well, she won't be going after the snatch world record of Natalia Zabolotnaya of 135, set in Belgorod a couple of years ago in the President's Cup. Mind you, just looking at the junior record, because she's 22, so she's a little bit too old to go for that. That would have been 130 that she could have gone for, but she's too old. Strange thing to say at the age of 22, isn't it? But there you can see it, one attempt to come, and the bar at the moment sitting on 128. Now, what would you do here?
I'd stick on 128, David. That last lift was good. That last lift was a personal best. Well, no, maybe not. She's going to go up 131. I think this is a bit risky. I think she'd do well to try and gain a bit more lead. She must be confident.
Well, this is certainly a personal best. I mean, well, this will put her into a pretty strong position for the second half of the competition. Give her a 6 kilo advantage. Now we know she's done 130. Junior world champion in 2011 at 69 kilos. Universiade champion in the same year at 69 kilos. 6th in the world championships in Paris when she only snatched 116 kilos, but this is progress for you. So this for a 6 kilo advantage to go into the second half of the competition. What a fantastic piece of lifting. You don't think so?
What the referees say to that?
2-1 against.
Moving in the right elbow.
Well, I have to say, it's pretty difficult from here. You spotted it, I didn't. Younger eyes, you see. We must be, what, 40 metres from the stage?
Easily 40 metres. Her right elbow, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely right. On that picture, you can see it.
Very good effort, though.
I think I was overwhelmed by the initial movement. So that keeps it nice and tight, really, in terms of the overall competition. Yeah, Kang Yua takes the gold medal, but is only 1 kilo ahead of Olga Zubova. And then when you look further down, you see that Lydia Valentin on 122 and Evshchikina on 120. So, in fact, only 6 kilos.
Yeah, there was definite movement in that right elbow, wasn't there?
Only 6 kilos separating the first 4.
Well, it keeps it close. It's a lot closer than I thought it would be at the halfway stage. Just going to see who can hold their nerves the most through the clean and jerk.
What we do know is that she's perfectly capable of doing that weight.
It was a great effort.
You know, when you consider